To those who are going to comment they can't watch the show anymore because of the support, no worries.
This whole Miss Rachel thing and her being attacked because she wants justice for the Nolan Wells family got me thinking about something. That racism is nuanced and has a lot of layers, right? Because yes, it's one thing that racism makes the lives of melanated people very difficult, but it also makes the lives of white people difficult if they are not proactive within that system.
People are not mad that Miss Rachel loves children. They're mad that she cares about all the children of all the different melanin variations.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Right, so in today's episode, we're going to be reacting to Miss Rachel, a very famous and popular creator on YouTube who does a kids show, right? Many of us adults might know of Miss Rachel because some of us are parents or some of us are uncles and aunties to young ones, right? And for us, we have a young niece. She's 3 years old and she really loves Miss Rachel, yeah? Why is she getting cancelled? Apparently, Miss Rachel came out and tweeted in support of Nolan Wells' parents, right? But her white audience decided that they didn't like this very much, and right now they're calling for the massive boycott and cancellation of her shows.
Right. However, Black Americans have come out in huge numbers to support Miss Rachel, and they're not the only ones who are showing her the support she needs right now, right? Even white people outside of America have come out to speak on her behalf, and most of them are seeing the sense of why she would naturally defend any child, because according to her, her show caters not only to the white children but also to every other child out there, right? And there is something that a speaker has said, or rather is going to say, that really caught my attention. And she said racism does not only hurt Black people, but it also hurts white people who come out in support of Black people or who come out to defend Black people who are being discriminated against.
Right, guys, we don't want to talk a lot. Let's watch what is happening and then we come back and talk about it. You can also let us know what you think about this on the comment section. Kindly remember to subscribe if you haven't yet, if it's your first time here, right? Let's watch and then we come back.
This whole Miss Rachel thing and her being attacked because she wants justice for the Nolan Wells family got me thinking about something. That racism is nuanced and has a lot of layers, right? Because yes, it's one thing that racism makes the lives of melanated people very difficult, but it also makes the lives of white people difficult if they are not proactive within that system. See, the good whites, they just don't participate, but they also don't get in the way. But let you be an N-word lover or let you be someone who cares about children or individuals a part of an oppressed group or trans people or Black people, you got to be put down. That makes me think of Alex Preddy and Renee Good. That makes me think of Viola Lizzou, who was killed by the KKK because she was helping transport members between Selma and Montgomery during the civil rights movement. That reminds me of Bernie Sanders, who I just reposted a photo of him getting his ass beat by the Chicago police because he was helping protesters and rioters in Chicago during the 60s, I believe, over housing segregation and redlining and voting. See, it's not just enough to be white, right? They do want you to participate. And in my opinion, complicity is participation. But when you do come across those whites that are really big on being anti-racist, they understand, like the rest of the white people understand, that puts a target on your back. That means that you too, like those melanated people, could also lose your life. White people understand what's at stake when they step up, when they speak out, when they're not racist. They know what's at stake because they understand that it happens to us all the time, but they understand if they got in the way, it would happen to them as well.
Miss Rachel did not say any race deserved to die. She did not condemn anyone. She said Black boys deserve to live, and is now under fire, under siege, for the simple statement of Black boys deserve to live, to reach adulthood and live. Our insistence upon existence is not a threat to yours. How dismal is it that as a society, we've gotten to the point where the worst thing a marginalized group can do to you is threaten to exist and grow old? Maybe I'm too woke. Maybe I'm too woke. Nolan Wells should have been able to have his daughter. All of these kids should have been able to grow up. That is genuinely crazy to me. That's insane. Toodles.
To those who are going to comment they can't watch the show anymore because of the support, no worries and much love your way. God bless. I am not chasing fame or views. I'm standing strong in love.
Growing up, I was a big fan of Mr. Rogers. I loved his core messages of unconditional love, emotional acceptance, and the fact that everyone has an inherent worth in this world. So to see that today's generation has that in Miss Rachel is why I will be accepting of her and I will always stand with her. Miss Rachel, like Mr. Rogers, took a political stance that to most would seem like it would be a hit on their celebrity status, and they genuinely do not care because all they care about is the well-being of kids, people being accepted for who they are. And to me, that message just reigns like importance reigns to me as a human being, as how people should treat each other. So the fact that people have an issue with her because she took a stance when it came to siding with kids, when it came to the protection of kids, just blows my mind completely. Miss Rachel, to me, in my opinion, is just a downright good person and the type of person that most of us should aspire to be. And to those that seem to have an issue with her, you guys can, in my personal opinion, can get fucked and stay fucked and go play in the freeway with open-toe sandals.
Miss Rachel is on white women's necks. White people in general, right? She posted Black boys deserve to grow up. Doesn't sound very controversial to me, but white people are mad. She said, getting canceled, having integrity. Why is Miss Rachel controversial? Oh, being against genocide isn't controversial. Staying silent about it is. And then she called out people who were like, I liked you better when you just sang on YouTube. First of all, period. She said, okay, I never just sang on YouTube though. I've always cared about how children around the world are treated. People are not mad that Miss Rachel loves children. They're mad that she cares about all the children of all the different melanin variations. And I will say, it takes a lot of courage to be a white woman of status, wealth. She doesn't have to speak out and use her platform. So I'm very thankful that she's doing it. But also, if we pause, bare minimum. You know what I mean? Like, ultimately, she's very protected. And the people who are actually in danger are the children experiencing genocide, are the Black and brown people experiencing racism every single day. And so when you think about it, as a white person speaking up, that's like bare minimum. So when it comes to basketball and we talk about players and, well, what can they do? It's the people who follow them. They can actually do a whole lot. I don't have a huge platform, but one thing people are not going to do is use my name in vain. Absolutely not, because you all know where I stand on specific topics because I let you know. Miss Rachel, keep doing what you're doing. And if you have a platform, use it.
Miss Rachel said Black boys deserve to grow up, and people took that and made it so controversial when it's not controversial, it's factual. And y'all should have already known Miss Rachel and what she stood for, and y'all should have known that she was going to stand on business as she's done before. Black boys, keyword boys, deserve to grow up. Because if you look at the adultification of our Black children, one of the things that is very common that I just recently talked about is how little girls are so quick to be called fast, or how young boys even are looked at as young men as soon as they're 11, 12 years old. It doesn't matter what he looks like, how tall he is, or anything else. An 11, 12-year-old boy is still a little boy at the end of the day. And see, this is why I like Miss Rachel, because she's not just a child entertainer, she's a child advocate. She's also a preschool teacher. You should want a preschool teacher, or any teacher for that matter, to advocate for any and all children that they either come in contact with, or any child-based cause there is in the world. Because at the end of the day, when someone decides to become a teacher or anything working with children in that capacity, You should want them to have the very best intentions, and you should want them to have high expectations for those children, and you should want them to help those children succeed. So yeah, when people say black boys deserve to grow up, that's what they mean. Black boys deserve to grow up to be strong black men who could be businessmen, teachers, doctors, lawyers. Black boys deserve to grow up and have those opportunities. One day, if I get as big as her, I'm gonna stand 10 toes down right along with her.
Right, listen, my daughter watches Miss Rachel, so I can get my 2 pence involved, even though the argument is around a case that happened in the USA. Nothing to do with the UK, but what has happened is there's a young boy called Nolan Wells, a black boy. He went over to an island just off of Mississippi with 3 of his friends who were white on a boat. The white lads returned, Nolan never. He was found dead. You know, and a lot of people are coming out and saying this is a racially motivated attack. Whether it was or not, I can neither confirm or deny. But the whole argument is Miss Rachel has come out in support of Nolan Wells, saying that she demands justice for him. You know, this is a racially motivated attack, and a lot of people have countered that, saying we're unfollowing you, Miss Rachel. Our children are not watching you. You're a kids' TV presenter. You should never be getting involved in something like this. You know, so they've unfollowed her and stopped their kids watching her, and then you've got people coming back saying, well, all the racists are unfollowing her, etc., etc. And my opinion on it is, you know, she's stood up for something that she believes in. She's demanding justice for a young lad, a kid himself. He was only 18 years old. He's a kid, so she's protecting another kid. And I will never stop my daughter watching Miss Rachel because of something like that. I think it's very brave what she's done. And at the end of the day, all she wants is justice for a young boy that's been brutally murdered. She wants to get to the bottom of what has happened, and she wants justice. So, yeah, I think it's insane that people are unfollowing her and stopping their children watching her because she wants justice for a young kid. That is my opinion on it from the UK. But yeah, if you don't know about the Nolan Wells case, give it a little look. It's very, very sad. May he rest in peace. Thoughts and prayers with his family at this very sad time. And it's horrific that things like this can happen in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's just terrible.
A few years ago, I had an experience with Miss Rachel, and I feel like I need to share it. I connected previously, and around that time, my eldest daughter was about to turn 2. And when I tell you that this girl loved Miss Rachel, I'm not kidding. She literally watched her every single day. And we were going to do a Little Mermaid themed birthday party because she was obsessed with mermaids at the time and the color purple. And I literally just had this idea. I was like, okay, let me just reach out to Miss Rachel and see if she'd be willing to just say happy birthday to my kid. Like, you don't have to do anything extravagant. It can literally be 15 seconds. So I messaged her and I was just like, hey, I know that this is a long shot, but my daughter's turning 2 and she absolutely loves you. And I was wondering if you would just be open to making a really quick video, just wishing my daughter a happy birthday. I feel like she would absolutely love that. And I wasn't expecting her to say yes, but she immediately agreed. She asked me a little bit about Naomi. She was like, okay, like, what's her favorite color? What are her favorite songs? And so I told her some of her favorite songs from the show, that her favorite color was purple, and that she loved mermaids. And she was like, okay, perfect. So a couple of days later, she sent me the video. And guys, when I say I thought it was going to be 15 seconds, I was wrong. She basically did a mini personalized episode for my 2-year-old, incorporated some of my daughter's favorite songs from the show. She mentioned colors that my daughter loves and the fact that she loves mermaids. And she dressed up in her Miss Rachel outfit, like the outfit she actually wears in her episode. It was so much more thoughtful than anything I could have ever expected and asked for. And she literally didn't have to do any of that. I've literally been keeping this story for years. I've kept the video for years, and we will watch it like every couple of months. Sometimes when people have a public persona of being kind and generous, you start to wonder if that's how they are in real life. I can't speak to every interaction that this woman has ever had, but I can only speak to mine. And in my experience, there's absolutely nothing that she needed to gain for doing something kind for a 2-year-old little girl that she doesn't really even know. She went far beyond anything that I could have asked her for. During a time that was honestly really difficult, she made my 2-year-old feel so important. And now, years later, I have another little girl who also absolutely loves Miss Rachel. Her show is part of our home again, and it's so great seeing my youngest develop language and being able to speak because of her show. When I see Miss Rachel advocating for the well-being of children, I personally just think back to that time when she did something that was above and beyond and so kind for my family and for my little babies. And from my experience, I feel like her care of children has never been performative to me. I feel like that's just an extension of who she truly is, and I just wanted to add this story into the conversation. Miss Rachel, there are 2 girls here that absolutely adore you, and you are beloved in our household. And you have one very grateful mom. Anyway, we love you, Miss Rachel, and I want to show you guys a little bit of what she did for my eldest daughter.
Hi, Naomi. It's Miss Rachel. I heard that you had a birthday. How old are you? 2? Wow! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Put it on. Open, shut them. Open, shut them. Give a little clap, clap, clap. Yes, purple. I heard that you love purple. I heard you love mermaids. You are so special. You're an amazing kid. Bye-bye, Naomi. I'll see you again real soon.
Not you racist European people unfollowing Miss Rachel because she agrees that if Nolan Wells was a European boy and his friends were black, the investigation would be going completely different. So now y'all are unfollowing her and not supporting her when she's speaking the truth. Oh, I love it. I love it. And the crazy thing is, my nephew loves Miss Rachel. Both of my nephews love Miss Rachel. And I be telling my sisters, like, y'all stop letting them watch that European lady. But you know what? Put Miss Rachel on. Put her on a loop. Put her on a loop. Watch the European lady because she's speaking facts, okay? This is what I'm talking about. European people be asking us, like, what can we do? What do y'all expect us to do? Exactly that. Just speak up on the truth. That's it. That's it. Don't be oblivious. Don't be naive. Don't be passive. Don't be just sitting around letting Jim Bob and them say any old thing about other people. Speak up about what is right and what is wrong. Shout out to Miss Rachel, because I promise you I'm about to go run her shows up. Definitely about to go on the tube and play her show and let it just play in the background all day to run her views up. Because we don't care that y'all not going to follow her, because now guess what? We going to watch her.
When Miss Rachel said black boys deserve to grow up, she didn't mean only black boys. But if you have critical thinking skills, that would have been a problem for you to understand. However, education is very tough on you guys. It's very rough for you guys. It's a tough topic to talk about for you guys, so I understand. You guys are coming from the lowest educated states. You guys don't have degrees, most of you don't. So it's very hard to, understand things these days. The government will always make sure that white boys grow up. You don't need Miss Rachel. I promise you don't need Miss Rachel. All the systems in this world is catered to you. It's catered to you. And if you're still struggling after all the systems, make sure that you thrive. Oof. Oof.
So I hear now they're trying to cancel Miss Rachel. And of course I had to go take a look and see what was going on with that, because, a lot of times these big creators, when they really grow their platforms and they get big, like they forgot where they came from and they represent things that they didn't necessarily represent before, and it turns out that, okay, it must have been something different. Hold on. My views don't change depending on people's religion, skin color, place of birth. Okay, must have been something else. Hold on. Okay. I mean, of course, this is totally reasonable, like she said there. I don't understand. It's got to be something else. Maybe this one? I mean, this is true also. Black boys literally deserve to grow up, so... Yeah, this is true also. I mean, we all know this if we know history, and we know this is true. Yeah, Nolan and his family deserve justice, 100%. Maybe it was this one, because, God forbid we have expectations that we wouldn't put children in prison, especially when there's been reports of things like inadequate water and food and inadequate medical care and medications, and just the fact that we're putting children in prison. So those all seem like odd reasons to try to cancel somebody, but I guess the people that are mad about these things, those are the type of people that we're dealing with these days, so.
So guys, welcome back. For the most part, what I've gathered from all the speakers who've spoken today, most of them have come to a conclusion that the majority of white people who are trying to cancel Miss Rachel to no avail are the ones that are not really educated and have not really gone to school or lack the ability to comprehend, right? Because there is one speaker here who was breaking down Miss Rachel's tweet, right? And he said for people who are not learned, they will think Miss Rachel only meant black children deserve to grow old, right? But for people who are learned, they will take this across all board, right? Because right now, when you compare the level at which black kids have been said to be unalived versus white kids, it really doesn't add up. That's why he reached a conclusion that the people who took that statement to face value are people who lack comprehension and people who have not really gone to school, right? And this just a while back, last year, yeah, we did an episode about a white man who was talking about why they don't defend black people, right, when racism occurs. And I feel like Miss Rachel's case explains the situation a whole lot better, right? She took the risk, despite being a public figure, to speak up against something that was wrong and to speak out for something she believed. She believed, like, calling out for justice is not something bad, right? Just investigate and know what happens. The parents want answers, right? Because so far we've seen inconsistencies between the stories that these kids are bringing forward with what the investigation is actually bringing forward also, yeah? So it's quite natural that she would come out and speak up, because at the end of the day, she also is an influencer. She has a great, audience. So what she says she knows has value and has weight. But it's quite unfortunate that white people in America want to boycott and cancel her just simply because she decided to speak out in what she believed to be true, And this reminds me, it's quite true that that statement, racism doesn't only hurt black people, but also white people who decide to speak up against it, right? And you see how that is. So you're either forced to conform with the systematic racism that is happening, or you face the consequences. And that is quite sad to see. And so it's not to say that we understand why white people stay quiet. Rather, more white people should come up and fight out against the system, because for you to attain your freedom, it's not going to be easy. Even for black Americans to get where they are at, it wasn't easy. So if you can speak up against, injustices, kindly do so. It doesn't matter the consequences that are gonna befall you, because keeping quiet is further enhancing that system, and you are becoming part of the problem. Because you're not participating in the racist act does not mean that you're all innocent. When you decide to stay quiet, you're complacent in that situation, and therefore you're not changing anything for anyone, right? And the statement that Miss Rachel put out after people were saying they were going to cancel her, white people in particular, I really loved what she said, because she came to the internet and she said, according to her, that the shows she puts out for kids is not to make money or gain a lot of subscribers, right? And for that very same reason, she wasn't afraid that people were going to cancel her, so long as whatever content she's putting out there, it still helps some other kids, right? And guys, honestly, when I look at how my niece loves Miss Rachel, I see the impact she has on children. I've even also seen our baby how to talk, because our kid used to watch that video a lot, and she would, whenever Miss Rachel would come up on TV, she'd get, like, Miss Rachel would make her whole entire day. And kids don't know how to choose. If they like you and they like what they see, yeah, they're gonna like you. That's just who babies are, So for that reason, I also got to know Miss Rachel because of that. And honestly, this makes me even admire her even more, because she decided to do the right thing. We have celebrities, big celebrities in America. For example, a situation that was happening, the
during the ICE raids, we had celebrities who could have done something with their influence, who could have spoken up, but they chose not to because they were fearing to be cancelled, or they were fearing to lose brand deals or jobs or whatever, and they decided to keep quiet. But Miss Rachel decided to, speak up, and I like the fact that Black Americans are rallying behind her, and a lot of them are encouraging people to go and subscribe in huge numbers, even those that did not know of her,
Right. And right now, we cannot truly say if Miss Rachel is a good person or a bad person, but we can just judge her off of the actions she's exhibited so far. And so far, she hasn't shown any discrimination towards the children she represents, unless the discrimination it has happened and we don't know. We only go off of face value of what we know her of, right? And so for that reason, I really love that, just as Marina said, she used her influence in the right way, because this has brought quite a controversy on TikTok and on social media, but at least people are listening, especially the everyday person who has a child who knows Miss Rachel,
Right. So guys, let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section. Also consider subscribing if it's your first time here, and we'll catch you on our next episode. Thank you so much for always tuning in.